do you have a feeling that you're pregnant, but it's way before your period, at least a week before your period, and you're not sure really how else you can find out? Well, I've got 12 sure signs for you that you really could be pregnant before your period, because all of this happened to me. Now, who am I to say how you could be sure about being pregnant before your period? Well, I had 7 pregnancies, unfortunately 5 of which were miscarriages. But every time at the beginning, in the first few weeks, even before my period, I always had these same telltale signs. And since talking to many other women and doing several polls online, I found out that I'm definitely not alone, and these symptoms are things that you can go by as well. So the first one is a fluttering feeling in your stomach. I mean, like a constant fluttering feeling in your stomach that doesn't go away. You know when you've got butterflies? Well, it's like that, but permanently. The next one is a rush of energy, almost like an adrenaline rush going through you, from your abdomen up to the top of your chest, coming in waves and waves. You cannot miss that feeling. Being dizzy and lightheaded, that was always a sure early symptom for me. I mean, it's not something I normally have during the day, but I'd be feeling a bit wobbly sometimes. Definitely a sure symptom. The tightening of the uterus. Now, the womb does get tight. It has to adjust right from the very beginning. And this tightening for me was think about an elastic band stretching, being pulled like this. This is exactly what I was feeling in my uterus. Right in the front, let me say, at the top of my womb, and in the back as well. Cramping feelings, not to be mistaken with PMS, right? These cramping feelings are completely different. They're in a different place to PMS. And when you get PMS, it's like a sinking feeling because you know that something's going to be coming out again soon. But with these cramping feelings, it could be associated with the implantation of the egg. The cramping feelings just feel like a really dull pain around the top area of your lower back, and they spread round to the front of your womb. Then we have the feeling of implantation. Now, I always felt implantation. I always knew when the egg was going into the side of my womb and into the lining. It was like a small, slightly sharp, digging feeling, so it was really burying itself in. And then I could feel it all the time. From that point onwards, I knew exactly where the egg was inside of me. Implantation, you can also get implantation bleeding or spotting. Now, it would be really, really light spotting. So if you are lucky enough and you can feel the egg implanting, then you do know that you can associate the two. If you haven't felt the implantation, then maybe you would actually mistake the spotting or light bleeding for the start of your period. But then it should stop within 2 or 3 days in a normal sort of implantation stage. Heavy breasts, and I mean really heavy breasts, way more than what you would get if you were having PMS symptoms. I mean, not everyone gets sore boobs, but yeah, in PMS, I know I definitely always do, but when I was pregnant, this was a completely different feeling. I felt like they were twice the size, and there was no mistaking that. Feeling warm, really warm, because when you get pregnant, your body temperature, your base body temperature actually rises. And this can start as early as even 1 week before your period, after the egg has implanted. Aversions to food or drink, sudden aversions. I mean, you're eating your favourite meal and all of a sudden this inner feeling says, stop eating it. And you have no explanation for it. Or you could be, drinking a glass of wine in the evening and you just don't want to take another sip. Or your cup of coffee in the morning or a cup of tea, you just don't fancy it and you can't explain why. So that's the sudden aversions. And instinctively feeling different. I just always felt different, like a different kind of energy coming all over me. I kind of didn't feel like, I don't know, like centered in my body, in my person. I just knew something else was going on and I felt different. And the last really cool tip is the position of your cervix. So, like inside the top of your vagina is the opening to your womb. And it's kind of like a mouth, like our mouth that we have here. And during the different stages of your menstrual cycle, the cervix has different positions. So when you're on your period, it can drop down in the vagina and then it should come up again. Now, when you're pregnant, the cervix stays up and it stays soft. Now, normally it would be hard, but if you're pregnant, it softens up a bit like the lips here. That's what it feels like. So if you get used to like having a touch around, seeing what it feels like, then you will definitely get used to the different position of your cervix. Some women don't want to even go there, completely understand. Others are curious, they want to find out. Just make sure you always wash your hands and check. So, I mean, most of us do know when we're ovulating, you know, your discharge changes. It comes a bit like egg white, there's pretty much no mistaking it. And at this point, if you did try to feel what your cervix is like, there's no mistaking the position, that it's lower down and it's definitely producing lots more mucus. And then you would definitely be able to feel the difference sort of when you're expecting your period, that it's now gone higher up, but it's soft, so it's a completely different feeling. Try it out, see how you can notice the differences. So those were my 12 really early pregnancy symptoms. If you've got some of those, if you can tick some of the boxes and it's still a week or a few days before your period and you really feel like you're pregnant, then maybe a pretty sure sign that you are. So good luck.